Hi guys, so what we're gonna do today, we're going to troubleshoot an issue with an Acer Predator laptop which the customer brought in with problems on the screen. Basically what the problem was, he is experiencing lines across the screen. He took it to a different repair shops. Most of them, they told him it's a problem with the main board, and they quoted him a couple, a pretty big amount of money to fix it. He brought it in my shop, and let's see what the problem is. Now, what I'm trying to do with my videos, I'm trying to teach you or to show you how to troubleshoot simple things. I'm not trying to get in depth into electronics repair. There are so many other channels on YouTube which are doing that, and the reason I'm not doing that is because these videos are aimed to regular guys, not repair shops, and for all the other repairs, in-depth repairs, you'll need specialized tools and specialized skills. What I'm referring to, pretty much most of you guys, you don't have a soldering station, a rework station, multimeter, microscope, all kind of tweezers, all kind of testing tools. So those are pretty much pointless in my opinion to show you. Of course, as I said, there are so many other channels on YouTube which show you how exactly to troubleshoot motherboards and other components of the but I'm not gonna do that. Anyways, long story short, let's see what's wrong with this Acer computer. From what I could see, it's rarely, first of all, if you're experiencing any sorts of artifacts on the screen, lines, horizontal, diagonal lines, spots on the screen, most of the time is not the motherboard fault. Yes, there are cases when the graphic card is failing on the main board and then you have different weird patterns on the screen. Yes, there are cases, but most common problem is either the LCD itself, the LCD connecting cable, or the LVDS connector on the main board. Now, I'm not right now, I'm just gonna trust my my hunch and think that it's a problem either with the LCD or the LCD connecting cable. So that's actually, it's the easiest way to troubleshoot, because it's less things to open. So we're just gonna open the top part of the computer. We're not going to open the back case and get to the main board, and where potentially you could do more damage than good. So without any further ado, let's open the screen and see what we find there. So what I'm going to try right now to see if the connection between the LCD cable and the screen is properly seated. As many times, many times, probably 6 or 7 out of 10, the problem is the LCD connecting cable, which is moved slightly, and you'll have these issues. Now for this repair, we can use a couple different opening tools, pry tools. You can use a guitar pick. You can use a pry tool, something like this, or something like this. I don't know if you can see it. Well, I'm going to use metal pry tool. I won't really recommend you to use a metal one unless you did this before. Why? Because you can break the small plastic clips which are on the side of the bezel, and then the bezel will not realign neat with the screen. So I did this before, so let's start. First, before you do this, if your computer has a removable battery, I will highly recommend you to remove it. This one, however, does not. The battery is built in, but what I'm going to do, I'll make sure that the computer is off. So make sure there's no backlight. If you have a backlight in your keyboard, make sure when you press the keys, the backlight does not come on. If it does and you see nothing on the screen, press the power button for around 10 seconds, and like that you are sure that the computer is off. So let's start. I'm gonna start opening this from the top, so just gonna put the pry tool slightly inside and move it just a little bit until you hear some little pops, like so. Don't insert the pry tool too much inside of the screen, as you might actually touch the LCD and damage the LCD itself, and then it's gonna turn out to be a much more expensive repair than it should be. Now, with the top and the sides of the bezel removed, it's time to remove it on the bottom. And now it's where it can be a little bit tricky in some of the computers. I'm gonna move the camera a little bit closer so you can get a little bit better idea of what I'm actually doing. Just bear with me. Okay, for a little second. Okay. So, on most of the computers, on the bottom, there is a little thin layer of glue which is in between the LCD and the bezel itself. How we're gonna go about it? Just put the pry tool slightly against the bezel and move it along, move it towards the right, just like so, and grab the bezel with your nails and pull it towards you, making sure you don't put too much pressure on the LCD itself. And that's that. Now, with the bezel removed, throw the screen. Okay, put this on the side, and we're getting to the actual LCD. What we have here, we have the camera on the top, we have the wire which is connecting the camera, and the antenna, the Wi-Fi antenna cables running on the side of the screen here, just so you see a little bit better. Okay, now the LCD itself, it's caught up on the back with 4 screws on this particular model. Screws which are 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. We're gonna remove those with a regular Phillips head. Put them on the side. Make sure you don't lose the screws, as they're pretty small, and you will need them to reassemble the screen. Okay, with the 4 screens, with the 4 screws removed, we're gonna grab the screen and tilt it forward. Okay. Now on the back, if you're able to see it, on the back of the LCD, you have the actual connecting cable, which is attached right here with this little tape. So in order to reseat this connector, I'm going to use a little tweezer to carefully remove the tape. Okay. Again, try not to put any pressure on the LCD itself. Okay. What you could do, if you're trying this at home and you find it a little bit too difficult to remove the tape, you can take a hair dryer, put it on a low setting and blow it for probably 10 seconds just to melt a little bit the glue here. It's going to be much easier to remove the tape. Now with the tape removed, we are going to remove the connector. And let's see if I can set up the camera so you see it a little bit better. because I don't want to show you something you're not going to be able to do because I haven't seen how you were doing it. Okay. So the connector, which is right here, as you see, that's the connector. You will push it with a little tweezer or with a non-metallic object or something. You'll push it upwards. 1, 2. Okay. Now the connection is removed. This is your LCD. Now what I want to mention once, since we're here, if let's say the screen would be the problem in your computer and you want to order a screen, many people, they do the mistake of actually ordering an LCD based on the model number of their computer, of their laptop. That's not the way to do it, because in many cases, even the same model of laptop, they use different type of screens which might not be compatible one with each other. So the best way to order a screen is actually remove the screen as such, and you will look on the back of the LCD where you have a model number. In this case it's LP173WF4. Put that on your search wherever you want to get the screen from, and that's the way you'll get a screen which is 100% compatible with your particular computer. Now, since I have this screen removed, I will inspect the connector, which looks absolutely fine. Okay, I don't see any burn pins, I don't see any pins which might have become loose due to some external force being applied on the back of the computer and moving this particular connection. So what I'm gonna do, I'm going to reseat this connector. So we're gonna insert it in very slowly. Make sure it's all the way in. Take your time. Okay. And before reattaching the tape, I'm going to try the computer to see if the lines or the issue the computer had is still present. So I'm gonna turn this on. Okay, restart my PC. But the screen, as you can see, it doesn't have the horizontal lines on it anymore. There were some red horizontal lines on the top of the screen, and it's absolutely fine, as you see. Now if I would move, let's make, okay, just gonna blur this a bit. Yeah, probably you saw this. Anyways, I'm just gonna block the name of the person for obviously privacy purposes. The screen, it's absolutely fine right now. I'm trying to see if tapping on the LCD itself is going to change it, as that will indicate a bad LCD, but the screen is absolutely fine. So this was a very easy repair. It took probably 5 to 10 minutes, and we're gonna shut down the computer and show you how to put everything back together. Okay. So now that we made sure that the problem is not present, we can safely reattach the tape on the back of the LCD. Okay, make sure the connection is snug before we reassemble it. Make sure the cable goes back on the channels, right? I don't know how to call this, where it's actually supposed to go. That it's not just hanging there, so you might actually damage it when you replace the bezel. Put the screen back in. put the screws in. Okay, now the screws are tight. We're gonna try the screen one more time. Just, we don't want to open this again. We're going to move the screen up and down. It's absolutely nothing wrong with it, as you see, perfectly fine. And now we can safely reattach, reattach the front bezel. You'll start from the bottom, don't start from the top, as many times when you get on the bottom you realize that you didn't put it correctly, and you'll have to remove it again, and you're gonna weaken these little clips right here. You see, those clips, they can break very, very easily. So you put it on the bottom, you start from the hinges, and you will pop it, well, you'll press it until you hear your first pop. Okay. Okay, and now you work your way up. And on the bottom, you will, what I will recommend you, you don't want to just push on it, because then you might push on the LCD itself and damage it. So just with one hand, hold it behind like such. Okay, and then on the bottom, just slowly push it all the way on the bottom until you hear the clips clicking. And that's that. Now, as you see, it looks perfectly fine, perfectly aligned. There are no gaps in between here, no gaps on the side of the laptop. It looks absolutely fine, and that's it. Job is done. So I hope you guys learned something on how to replace, or actually how to